And that's yet another DDG win.
All right, welcome, Dead Draw Gamers, to another edition of our Dead Draw Gaming podcast. We've got a special pre-Worlds podcast today. We've got two of our new players. If you haven't seen our post on Twitter, if you're not on Twitter or on Facebook where we announce this stuff, Dead Draw Gaming added a bunch of new players in the past couple of weeks. Most notably, we've got Jake Gearhart here today with us. Christian Labella, who just came off a top 8 performance at NAIC. And in addition to them, we picked up Braden Elpert, regional winner from last season. We got Michael Tobias Perez, a notable player out of California. Andrew Gatner, another kind of very well-performing player from the past couple of years. I'm sure I'm missing someone. Who am I missing? I think that's it. I think you got all 5.
The ones that have been announced.
Yeah, the ones that have been announced. We're gonna have a couple more announcements. One extremely good senior, and one senior this season going into a master season next year, starting in September. And they recently won something very big. If that gives y'all any clues. But so we have a roster up to over 10 players, I think, at this point. But for this podcast, we're just gonna kind of introduce our new players. We're gonna start with Jake. So let him kind of introduce himself, his history in the Pokemon TCG, and what he's been up to this summer.
Yeah, so I'm Jake Gearhart, if you haven't heard of me. I've been playing for about 10 years now. 10 years as of November will be my first tournament. And yeah, I've been mostly known for my online presence on Twitter over the pandemic, and then now doing well most recently at the Toronto Regionals, where my group came up with that Palkia and Teleon deck with the Articuno. Yeah, I'm excited to be part of Dead Draw Gaming now.
Sick, yeah. Very annoying Palkia Articuno deck, I have to say. And then Christian Labella. So you came off of a NACA top 8, very, very exciting round. Was it 15?
I think it was 15, yeah.
Panic Mass. So yeah, why don't you introduce yourself, kind of give us some history of the past few years and what you got going on.
Hi, I'm Christian Labella. I've been playing this game for like a couple years now, not as long as like I don't think anyone else on this team. I started off as a senior. This is like my first full season of Masters, and I'm most like known for playing like dumb Arc decks. I really like Arceus V-Star. Glad to be on the team though.
Yeah, and our first non-US player. So we have gone international with Christian, which screwed me up on your jersey because I put an American flag on your jersey and had to like contact them with an emergency rush to switch it out. Cool, yeah. So we are recording this, I think almost exactly 2 weeks from when we are going to kick off the World Championships out in Yokohama, Japan. But we're going to kind of look back at NAIC a little bit. I'm going to start with Gabe, just kind of give us a like mini tournament report and, just give us kind of an update, what you've been up to in between NAIC and Worlds.
Yeah, so I attended NAIC, got 20th, and then the DQ happened. So I technically got 19th out of 1,800 plus players, which is cool. I decided to play Lugia V-Star again. It's kind of always been that comfort pick that I like to go back to when I'm not entirely sure what to play.
Hey, real quick, someone got DQ'd in front of you, right? Not you.
Someone was DQ'd like pretty close to me. Yeah, they were DQ'd after they made top 8 and then they got DQ'd. So that kind of changed things. But yeah, so I ended up playing Lugia, got top 32. As I said, it's a comfort pick for me. Deck felt actually not super powerful. I just think that I hit some pretty good matchups early on. That kind of got me up to that 601, 701 start, and I just kind of coasted to a top 32 after that. I still think the deck is pretty good. It's actually a little bit better heading into Worlds, but we can probably talk about that a little bit later. what I've been doing this past month, my brother just got married, so that was cool. So I've been on vacation for about a week or so. So I just got back from that. As you might see, I'm quite sunburnt. Yeah, no, things have been good. I've been really busy coaching. It's actually been the busiest month ever for me when it comes to coaching and content. So that's been cool. Because normally July is like the slow month, but I think since locals came back, everything's been really busy in general. But yeah, no, I mean things have been good, and I'm excited for Worlds. I leave in 6 days, 7 days. So yeah, I mean, that'll be fun.
Nice. Where was the wedding at?
It was in Tahoe. It was in
Okay.
South Lake Tahoe. Yeah. So.
It was gorgeous out there this time of year.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Then Mr. Andrew Hedrick, you got what, top 32
Yep.
at NAIC? What were you playing? How'd it go?
Yeah, I also got top 32 at NAIC. I was playing Turbo Lost Box, which is pretty good deck, although it's a little bit concerning going into Worlds because of the time rules, especially if you're playing in day one where you really don't want to take a tie. Lost Box is definitely a little bit better for day two. But pretty happy with that top 32. Outside of that, July, I've been taking it a little bit easier after I had a lot of trips and tournaments to go to in June, as well as like family vacations and stuff. In July, I've definitely been relaxing a little bit more. Preparing for Worlds, went to a couple of cups last weekend and did manage to win one of them, which was pretty fun. But overall, definitely been more relaxing month than June going into Worlds.
Nice. Yeah, we've had actually a really good couple weeks. I think Braden Elfert won 2 cups. We've had a bunch of challenge wins, cup wins. Actually, to kind of give a teaser for one of our players we'll be announcing next week, we had a father-son duo cup win this past weekend. So we might have to actually sign the dad on top of the child. But yeah, it's been a good couple months. Let's just start with Kristen for this next one. How are you preparing for Worlds? It's a little bit different of format, especially between if you're in the top 16 or you're in the day 2 of Worlds. You know, do you have a lot of cups and challenges that you're going to? What are you kind of testing? How are you preparing for the biggest event of the year coming up?
Right now I'm just been playing in like, well, I played in like a couple of the online tournaments, but I've mainly been watching like my friends playing some of them. I've been testing on like the Pokemon Live ladder a lot. That's like mainly where all my testing is. Like some webcamming. I haven't went to a lot of cups and challenges so far. But yeah, it's like the meta is like different. So like I don't really like, I know there's gonna be a lot of Tina, just like the main difference between like NESC and World. So like I'm just like looking at online tournament results and like basing my like most of my testing off of that. That's basically how I'm preparing right now.
Nice. What's your what I'm just curious, this doesn't matter, but what's your rank on PCL?
Oh, what is it? It's not I think I might be like Alex Zam rank is like somewhere in like Ultra Bowl or Great Bowl or something. I'm like lower ranks.
Okay, you're still higher than me. Okay. All right. How about Gabe? What are you like? How are you prepping? And are you like something to kind of add on to this? Like, because we're gonna be, or because y'all are gonna be playing so many different players from across the world, especially like the Japanese players and the Asian players, does that kind of shape your preparation at all?
Not really, because every Worlds there's still a very limited amount of Asian players that qualify for day 1 and day 2, and that's still pretty much the same. There might be a few more this year. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think that number changes very much because the Worlds qualification still stays pretty much the same for every single Worlds. When it comes to how I'm testing, I know me and Hedrick are probably testing a little bit differently than a lot of the day 1 players, because a lot of our testing is just kind of figuring out what's good and then seeing exactly what does well for day 1, and then that can potentially change exactly like what we decide to play. I've actually been sitting in calls with Christian, watching him play tons of Arceus Duraludon. So I've been learning a lot about that deck and kind of some of the cool plays and stuff like that you can make. But other than that, I've just kind of been testing everything out. I think one of like the important things when it comes to testing is testing the decks that you aren't necessarily super comfortable with. Because like right now, like I'm not playing a whole lot of games with Lugia or Mew right now. Like two decks I'm pretty well known for being relatively decent at. I've been, focusing my time on maybe some of the Giratina variants. I've started testing a little bit of Regigigas, and all just, kind of like the rogue decks and more like the tier like 1.5 and 2 decks I'm kind of, putting my time towards, because if I do decide to go that route, then I know exactly like how to play them. And if I do decide to go back to like Mew or Lugia, for example, I already know exactly like what I should be doing with them. So I think that's actually really important, like when it comes to testing, is kind of getting out of your comfort zone, and testing the decks that you might not necessarily feel super comfortable and confident in, because we have that time. Like we still have like 2 weeks before World, so take that time to be kind of expanding your horizons.
Would you say you're going into like the day one of Worlds ready to kind of see the meta and then be prepared to play a range of like 4 or 5 decks? Or are you gonna like settle into maybe a lesser number of those, like maybe 1 to 3, to be prepared to play based on what you're seeing?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think that I'll probably bring I'll probably have like 2 to 3 options, and whatever does well in Worlds day one will kind of change like potentially what route I decide to go. I know the last time where there was like a really big shocking deck to do well on day one was Baby Buzzwole Garbodor back during 2018 Nashville. So if a deck like that kind of pops up out of nowhere and does extremely well on day one, then I would be interested in testing that out, for potentially day two. But as of right now, I haven't found any like secret deck like that that's going to pop up in day one that is, going to translate like that. Maybe that happens, but that's the advantage of, having a day two invite is, you kind of get the option to wait and see what actually happens. So I would say I'm probably bringing a couple decks, and day one will definitely influence what I play for day two.
For sure. Okay. Jake, how are you preparing for this event? I know you're kind of known as the like statistician of the game. So are you taking a different approach than just grinding through games, or what's that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really like going into, since I'm playing in day one, obviously, I just want to be really solid on like one deck to be prepared to go into that field rather than being as adaptive going into day two. My plan is sort of figure out day two if I make there, but the goal is to get past day one. But so I've really just been playing a lot of Guardy. I think that deck is really good if you play it really well. Even with the time rules, I think they're manageable in at Worlds. But I've also been spending just a lot of time on Guardy, just trying to get games in. If I come up with something else, I'll end up testing that, playing just Guardy and against Guardy, like playing against myself a lot. But I've also been spending a lot of time like thinking about and trying to test a couple much more rogue ideas that I think have a lot of potential. I've got an idea of one card that I think might have a chance of. I haven't been able to figure out how to get it to work yet, but if someone does, that's sort of my prediction on what's going to win Worlds if somebody figures it out. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things to do in this format, but the meta is very wide open.
Is that one rogue? Is it either Spidops or the Meowscarda?
No.
We just put
No,
that to rest now?
It
Okay,
is neither
good.
of those cards.
Okay, good. Is it grass?
I'm not going to answer that. That's too specific.
Okay. That's fair enough. How does do you analyze, like, do you look at the results from Play Limitless, and how exactly, if you do, how exactly do you go about looking at those stats? You break them down in any more detail than they are just on like the main deck screen of Play Limitless?
Yeah, so I've been analyzing the online tournament result a lot. I think like this year has really proven how sort of accurate the online results are to predicting shifts in the metagame. Compared to like last year, we had no idea what their impact would be. Like you'd show up at one regionals, like you'd see online tournaments, the metagame is varied, and then at an IRL tournament like the first Australian regionals from last year, you saw like all the UV max and top 8. So like last year it was like really unpredictable, but I think this year has been much more consistent. I'm sure like top players are also paying more attention to online results and taking from them, which puts them like sort of together. So I think it is very important to pay attention to the results. And there's a site called Trainer Hill, where you can see sort of the trends in the metagame, look at card counts and things like that. So really what right now I'm just trying to see like week to week metagame changes. Online there seems to be sort of a like a phase thing where everybody goes into like playing one deck. And then like next week it'll be a completely new deck. So you have to sort of adjust to that because you know there's going to be like one day someone might win a tournament with Chen Pao, and then the next 3 days are like entirely everyone playing that list. So you have to be careful, but adjusting for those influences. But if you can avoid that, there's a lot of interesting things. Like specifically individual card counts are good to know, like which like Sky Stone or Forest Stone in Guardy, or like what types of techs in the Archeops or Arceus decks, like what the V maxes are of the day. Like we've seen like Lucario V Star show up a couple times in online results. So sort of seeing those trends and just following them, and sort of making a more accurate prediction of what's going to show up at Worlds is very important, I think.
That's interesting. Yeah, there does seem to be a lot of copy paste, from event to event on their platform. And I think it'd be really interesting to see. I've always like thought that there should be a way to like look at or analyze the like last 10 days or last 2 weeks before a regional, and then see how well that kind of like lines up with a regional results. I know it's like kind of complicated with all the different lists, but yeah, because it's kind of hard to gauge just off like, okay, let's look at top 32 or top 64, and how does that line up with what happened on Play Limitless leading into a major event. It's super interesting. Andrew, how about you? What same question as everyone else, which I'm blanking on. How are you preparing for the event?
Yeah, I've definitely just been trying to play as many games as I can. Actually gonna be for the next week, definitely playing even more games. I've played a few online tournaments. I also played a lot of games like against other people, either like in person or I've played some online against other people. Like I was definitely testing with like Gabe, I think at one point online. But I've done a lot of different ways I've tested. And also like at the League Cups and League Challenges I've attended. That's also just like another way to get games in and try out your decks, because those are definitely lower stakes than Worlds. So just trying to try out stuff and make sure I know what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm definitely also paying attention to the online meta, although like Jake said, you can't just use the percents, because those will change a lot based on what people like. Like right now, there's a lot of Tina in online events, and I don't think Tina will be the most popular deck at Worlds in the end. But right now, people are really loving it in online tournaments, and it's really popular. But like you can use the general, like if you look over like a lot of tournaments over a long period of time, you can kind of generally like see what decks are doing well, but you can't just look at a few days, because those numbers won't be most accurate.
Yeah, Trainer Hill is pretty good for that, because I think you can actually set parameters for selecting which events, right? So that's really useful.
I think the most accurate thing, like the metagame shifts like so much in Pokemon, but the most accurate thing is just the lists. Like you'll see lists go through a very steady like form of evolution, where the card counts will change like across the board pretty evenly. So like figuring out the percentages of decks, it's like really all over the place, but like seeing what an average Tina list looks like you can sort of watch that evolution, and it's pretty consistent.
Yeah, it seems like there were also some decks that kind of their supporter counts and so just the types of supporters that are building into it can change pretty dramatically. Like obviously Chin Pal is like not going to change that much, but it seems like kind of Gardevoir and a few other lists, like it really can depend on what types of supporters you throw in there. Okay, so what I like to do between events like this is always look back at the last major event. And fortunately for us in AIC, was the only event before for Worlds this year, and I think that's the case most years. The winner of NAIC, Inteleon Rapid Strike Urshifu. Was this a flash in the pan, or do we expect to see at least some percentage? Should we be worried about this deck for Worlds? Let's put it that way. Gabe, what do you think?
I think the deck is still very good. I don't think it's as good as it was for NAIC. I think a lot of players didn't necessarily know how to play properly versus Urshifu and Teleon. I think that actually Gardevoir does do pretty okay versus Urshifu and Teleon, but if you watch the stream games, it makes it seem like that matchup was almost an auto loss for Gardevoir, which it's not. I actually think it might even still be slightly favored for Guardy if they know how to play it. So I think a lot of players didn't necessarily know exactly what to do versus it, but that doesn't make the deck bad still, because I think the deck is inherently very strong and I think will perform well at Worlds. And I think that we're kind of moving right now back to where a lot of players are considering Lost Zone Toolbox, especially in day two. And Urshifu does notoriously relatively well against that deck when it's able to set up. So I think the deck is still very strong. It's not as good as it was for NAIC. I think it's probably moved down to like maybe tier 1.5 or high tier 2, but that doesn't mean the deck is necessarily bad for the event. It just wouldn't be in my top 3. But I also think because decks like Lugia also are gaining a lot of popularity, especially in day one. I probably would not play Urshifu for day one, just because a lot of players are going to be playing Arceus and Lugia and decks that don't necessarily tie, because they don't want to play like decks like Lost Box and Gardevoir. So a lot of decks that, you know, Urshifu might actually do really well against probably won't be seen as in high numbers in day one, and you might be playing against a bunch of Lugia decks and stuff like that that do relatively well versus you. So I would definitely recommend not playing it for day one, but if you make it for day two, I think that it has a much higher potential, because I think Lost Box and Gardevoir will definitely spike in popularity for day two, just because ties are okay, which does make Urshifu better. So I think it's good, but not as good as it used to be.
I think it,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's also like the rise of Tina, like Tina Lost Box is not that great for Urshi. Like the matchup's okay, but definitely not as good as Lost Box. And if there are any like players who like the Lost Box engine, Tina is a much more like interesting, much more safe option going into a format where you really can't tie, because Tina is able to close out games much quicker than most Lost Box decks. So that's another factor why it'll be on the Urshifu deck will be on the downhill, I think.
You get to switch decks, or can you switch decks in between day one and day two?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a completely different tournament. Like day one, the whole point of it like is just to qualify for day two. Like because your record doesn't carry over or anything, it's basically just a qualifier for day two.
Okay. So Christian, any thoughts on Teleon Urshifu?
I think it's good. I go to cups with Cyrus. So they were saying that like the Gardevoir matchup's like not as good as everyone thinks. She said that it was like 60-40 at like best. And I feel like if people like know what they're doing, it could be like really tough for Urshifu to win that matchup. So I feel like if people like test it enough, like I don't think like I think Urshifu's gonna be definitely more popular than what it's NASC, but I don't think it's gonna be like all that popular. You like you might hit one or two, but I feel like that's the maximum amount I'm gonna hit. Like I don't think it's gonna be all that popular.
Okay, cool. Okay, so last kind of question just on the NAIC results. In kind of this, I think is go very broad strokes on this, right? Because our audience is probably very low percentage day one players, way more a higher percentage people who are going to be playing in cups, challenges, and just locals and whatnot. So, but that in mind, what I'm just going to go around the horn again, and just without giving away anything too spicy, what's the top 3 decks you'd be preparing for? Either would you prepare for, or would you get as comfortable as possible to possibly play at Worlds, or maybe your first cup or whatever in the next month and a half? And I'll just, why don't you start, Jake? Take it
Yeah,
away.
sure. I mean, I think Guardy is like, especially outside of worlds where the ties are really bad, like just Guardy, I think, is still probably the near to be the best deck. Guardy and Lost Box are sort of trading back and forth between the best decks. So make sure you have practice against those two. And then the last one, it kind of goes all over the place. There's a lot of good decks that you could be testing against, like Chen Pao or Arceus decks or Lugia, Mew. There's a lot of these. Like I think it's really Guardian Lost Box is sort of the top. Like they'll be probably like 35-40% of the metagame in most tournaments. And then the rest is kind of made up of a scattering of those other decks.
Gabe.
Yeah, so I guess the top three decks, like I think you probably should prepare for. I guess we'll just put Arceus as one, just Arceus decks in general. I think Tina as well is definitely going to be a deck, especially in day one, that you should prepare for. It's kind of like the new, popular deck that I feel like everyone is kind of starting to gravitate towards because people are just realizing how good the deck actually is. So I would
And
say
to,
Arceus.
to clarify on that,
Yeah.
when you guys are saying Tina, you're saying
Sorry,
Lost
Lost
Box
Box
Tina.
Giratina. Lost Box Giratina. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the new popular deck that everyone's kind of gravitating towards. I've been actually keeping close attention to online tournament results, and it seems like every single week, just like the percentage of Lost Box Giratina just continues to rise. And I think a big reason is because Arceus V Star is just such a popular deck, and I think that it's a deck that a lot of players who are newer to the game or might not necessarily feel, comfortable going to a major tournament with a deck like Lost Box or Gardevoir. A lot of them are just naturally defaulting to Arceus Duraludon and Arceus Giratina, and I think that's a big reason as to why Lost Box Giratina is becoming popular. So I would say the Arceus variants, Lost Box Giratina, and probably I would still be preparing heavily for Gardevoir. I think the deck is still going to be played. I know online its popularity has decreased quite a bit, but I think like once again online and IRL is a little bit different, and I think when the stakes get higher people will play the best decks possible, and Gardevoir still is very, very good. So I would say those would be the decks to really kind of put games in versus.
And would your top Arceus deck still just be the Duraludon Umbreon
Yeah,
version?
I think it's just more consistent, and I think it beats Lost Box more of the time than Arctina does. Now that might be debatable by a lot of people, but I think Arc Duraludon is just more consistent, and you have more stable turn ones, specifically because you have Lumineon, and I was even testing the Arc Duraludon versus Arceus Giratina matchup, which a lot of people think is just absolutely terrible for Duraludon. And when I was finding boss turn 2 or stuff like that, or like being able to bring up the Tina V before it became a V Star, I felt like the matchup was like relatively okay. Because the biggest problem with Arceus Giratina is that you don't really have anything to search for off Ultra Ball or Nest Ball on that first turn that will actually like get you out of a dead hand. Whereas like when you play Arceus Duraludon, if you're going second and you have an Ultra Ball in hand, you can grab something like Lumineon and your board state, is instantly established. You don't always have to draw, into a draw supporter. So I think that Arc Duraludon Umbreon is slightly better.
Okay. Ooh. Christian, top 3.
I think Gardevoir is definitely one. I feel like if your deck doesn't beat Gardevoir, you like shouldn't consider it. Like not beat Gardevoir, but if you have like a very unfavored matchup against Gardevoir, like I don't think you should play it, at least for day one. Then I think Lost Tina is in the 2. I think those are definitely the top 2 decks. The last spot is interesting. I think it's gonna be an Arceus deck. Like, it's either between Duraludon or Arceus Giratina, because I think Arceus Giratina is really good right now. I think just like Judge Pathing is like really strong still. Like it won last year's Worlds like the Path Marty, and I think it's like I think it could definitely win again. Not gonna lie, because like a lot of decks can um like just Judge in general can like kill a bunch of decks, but like if you play a Path down 2, like it could be devastating for like a lot of things.
Okay, cool. And Andrew, you want to wrap it up for us?
Yeah, so I think if you're playing in any tournament besides Worlds Day 1, the 2 decks that you probably have to be the most prepared for are Lost Box and Guardy. Because they're just like the 2 best decks when you don't really have to consider time at all. So like in League Cups or League Challenges that are like usually best of 1, they're definitely the 2 best decks. Or on Worlds Day 2 where ties really aren't that bad because like you're probably gonna have to go X1-1 in Worlds Day 2. So taking a ties in the end of the world in that tournament. So and they're definitely the two best decks overall. Uh, but like for Worlds Day 1, I think Arceus will probably be like the most popular deck if you add up all the Arceus variants. Um, although I countries besides America definitely and like the North America area don't like Arceus as much, I don't think, but I still think it will probably be the most popular deck in day one if you add up all the variants. So I'd say in Worlds Day 1, Arceus is probably the most important. Gardevoir is probably still up there. Um, then I'd probably put Tina because like other people said, they can finish games easier than Boss Box. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit different when you have to worry about the time because I think Gardevoir and Boss Box get a little bit worse.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also like important, I think, as well, to recognize it. So I was checking on those, like we were talking about earlier, the qualifications of each region. Um, and it seems like Asia does get the numbers of qualifications, but they don't pay for the flights to America most years because they're really expensive. And to like London last year was still far as well. So we'll be seeing, I think, like a higher portion, less American and North America players compared to like what we normally see making the trip over, and then a lot more Asian players. And also like an important thing about the circuit in Asia is that they always play best of one. So they're going to be going into a format where they have like very little experience with the best of three time. And it's this added factor of being the tying is like really, really bad. So I think that'll have a pretty large influence on their deck choices. So like I agree with Andrew. They might like choose to go for something that's a bit faster, like the Arceus decks, even though we don't see them normally choosing it. Maybe that could make a decision maker for them, or they stick with what they're comfortable with and go with stuff like the Tina Lost Box instead.
Well, we still got another week or so for GoFundMe's to get fully funded, so don't count North America out just quite yet. Okay, cool. I think that's a good kind of discussion and kind of primer for going into Worlds. Something, if y'all have like another 10 or so minutes, we were thinking about doing a Worlds draft. Are y'all down for one of these?
Definitely.
Okay, cool. Gabe, how should we determine who goes first? Or do you just want to?
I put the new people as the first couple groups, so I think
Okay,
Earhart
yes.
and Labella will be picking before us, and then you as well if you want. Yeah,
Do
so
we have
that's
like a spreadsheet or something?
we do. Yeah, I already
Okay.
have
do.
it, Brian.
Yeah. So let's see if I can. I don't want to take the time to like share it with everyone, but I will share my screen really quick so we can see it.
Yeah.
And then because I'm not sure how this is gonna look on the recording. I think it's just gonna show everything I've opened. Okay, so this is a spreadsheet, and I'm just gonna say, let's go, since Christian is our most successful recent player, he can go first. Gerhardt can go second. We will go with Hedrick third. Gabe can go fourth. I'll go last. Leaders go last. I will. And do y'all want to go ahead and do 2 picks at a time so we can get this through this a little bit quicker? Or
Okay
should we
with
just?
whatever.
I mean, I have time if we can.
Yeah, I have
if
time.
don't have anything.
Okay, we'll just do one at a time.
Could you?
And
Is there any way you can share it though? Because seeing like the pics after people have done it could be like important because I won't remember
oh
if
yeah,
like somebody
can
made a.
you
I can
see
see the
this?
screen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What I think he's gonna put this away in a minute for the recording.
No, I'll keep
right?
it. I'll keep it up
Oh,
like
you keep
this.
it up like this? Okay, then it's fine. Never mind. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just see if I can change the if I could put this here. Hopefully this will show up on the video so they're not looking at a spreadsheet, but we'll see. And I'm gonna just switch back and forth between this is the global rankings for 2023, because I guess this is the numbers that go into the world championship qualifications. So okay, Christian, go for it.
Okay, let's see. I feel like my list is gonna be like me drafting all my locals. Uh, yeah, I don't know,
Is there sorry, is there like any incentive to drafting people on day one? Like day one world's players or
oh yeah, like a 1.5 times multiplier. If I like make day 2 and do well, or something like that.
yeah.
Is there like a point system here, Gabe?
Oh, we can do one. Yeah, we can make one.
Yeah,
But
we
I think
should.
like players that like see success in day 2, or players that make it to day 2 just have a 1.5 multiplier. I guess we can just do like a point threshold, or like what it would be for like NAIC, where like first gets 500, but if they made it through day 1 and they won worlds, it'd be like 1,000 you technically get, or something like that, or like
So
750.
that'd be like 2
750.
times or
Or oh, actually no, it'd be 750.
1.5,
It'd be
yeah,
1.5.
yeah,
Yeah,
1.5,
yeah.
750,
So we can just
yeah.
do that. Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
alright.
post the final thing on Twitter as well.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so yeah, if you want to do all locals, that's great because
And
we'll
We're just doing masters, right? We don't, or should we do like a small seniors one?
we can do
Oh.
like a two person per person seniors. Let's get through the masters, see how long that takes us, then we'll do something. Okay.
Yeah, I'll start off by taking Azul.
Okay, come on. That's not local. Okay.
I moved them for you. Yeah, moved them all over, made it
Oh,
easier.
nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jake, with your first pick.
I'll go toward.
God damn it. Okay. Hedrick.
Give me Reagan.
Okay. And I'll fix the spellings, so please no flaming in the comment. This is wrong. Gabe.
I will take someone on this call, Andrew Hedrick. Or Hedrick. Yeah.
Yes, sir, Gabe.
Yeah, I guess you
I
can
got
pick
you,
yourself
I got you.
if you want. You can. Okay, I will take. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna take Gabe. I think it's.
No, no.
All right, back to Christian.
I will take. I'll take Manly.
Okay.
I'll go with Caleb Gettimer. Get that group out of here.
Okay,
Cal.
he's been on fire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Ian Robb.
Okay. I'm gonna take Gustavo, I think. Hopefully he's going. Where he is.
Yeah, they are.
Stipend, yeah. Okay.
I'll take Rowan.
I'll have to get
I'll
his last name
go
later.
Isaiah Bradner.
Okay.
Has Pedro been taken yet?
No.
I'll
Which
take
one?
Pedro. Pedro Torres.
Okay.
Dang, no one's taking this person. I'll take Szymanski.
Oh, wait.
Alex
Oh.
Szymanski.
You don't want
We'll get Diane later. We'll get Diane later.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She got her invite, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the highest DDG hater on the top 16. Okay.
I will take Natalie Millar.
Yeah.
I'll go with John Ang.
Okay.
Grant Shen.
Okay.
Um, right. Uh, I will take Henry Brandt.
I'm going to go with. I think Braden's gonna go for it.
I'll take Sander.
Wait, Xander Pero?
No, Sander
Sandra
Wojcik.
Wojcik.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah, that's right now.
go.
That's it.
Yeah, I'll go Stefan Ivanov.
That's what I was gonna take. But
Yeah.
give me Brent Tonneson.
Is it TOLL?
Sorry, Brent
It's
Tonneson.
Brent.
Ton Tonisson.
Okay. I don't know who that is. All right.
Number one Australian player.
They're very good. They don't get enough recognition. I think they're one of the best players that just never gets talked about because they're at very few events, but they do always well at the ICs, which is really impressive. I am going to take Nicholas Moffat.
Okay. I'm going to take. I'm gonna actually have to look him up very quickly. Oh no. Who's the guy who's been playing forever who shuffles weird?
You mean Ross?
What's that?
Ross
Ross?
Yep, yep,
Ross
yep.
Coffin.
Ross has the most iconic shuffle, but he
Bro.
always turns it on for Worlds.
Ross Coffin is such a. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I was gonna pick him too if he was around later. Always comes up with good decks.
I'll go with Kieran Farah.
Is it FAR?
Uh,
I'll get it later.
Yeah. And then I think he hasn't been chosen. Yeah, I'll go Nico Alabas. I don't think he's been chosen. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Owen Cameraman.
Now you're picking locals, right?
Me? Yeah. Going for them now.
How do you spell Owens or yeah, Owens last name?
Kamerman.
Hope that's right. Okay.
So many good names left. I am going to take. Let's take Bakari, Justin.
Okay. I'm gonna take Hunter.
I'll go for Cyrus.
Davis, yeah.
Um,
I think
One
one of
second.
our teammates or your teammates are gonna be extremely angry that they haven't been picked yet. So let's keep it.
yeah, I'll go Rahul Reddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I thought we already drafted someone.
Give me Pedro Pertusi.
Okay. I don't know.
It's
Yeah, what is it?
It's Pertusi, I think.
Say that. Sorry, say it again.
It's
P-
Pertusi, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Why she has not been picked, I don't know. Piper Lepine.
No, that's who.
There you go. Okay. I'm gonna go with Finn.
I'll go with. I'll go Lucas Zing.
Zing.
Yeah. XING.
Wait.
okay. I want Daichi Shimada.
Bro, come on, please.
Oh my.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Are they day one or day two?
Yeah, I was just
He's
gonna
day
ask.
one.
Do you know? Okay.
You guys aren't prepared. I've been saving these last 3 spots.
Okay.
Um, Raz Wolp.
Actually, I'm not sure if Daichi may be in day 2 because they have weird stuff in Japan
Last
where
name spelled WOLPE.
uh, they can get like qualified through like a top X thing, but they can also just win like the Champions Leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah, their qualification system is weird.
But yeah.
So for this person, I think they're day 1. I could be wrong. Shintaro Ito.
He is day 2. He
Oh
won,
yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I
yeah.
wasn't sure if he was playing as much because I know he's really focused on
he won
content.
he won an expanded Champions League. Because the expanded ones have like a fourth of the players, so a bunch of the top players go into the expanded ones and just try and win those.
That's awesome.
I don't think this has been. Nope. I'm gonna go with Connor Penton.
I'll go with Raymond Long.
Okay, I want Yoshiyuki Yamaguchi. Put in the chat as well.
Chat, please. Yeah. Okay.
He has been doing insane in Japan.
Jake's gonna just low key destroy us
Didn't they
all
top
because
8 worlds a couple times?
I don't think he's top 8 worlds, but he won a Champions League this year and then
Okay.
also got top 16 at the Nationals.
Yeah, I know he's very good.
Yeah.
Has Rowan been picked yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I will do Caleb Rogerson.
I will take Carl Peters.
So it's C or K.
Okay, it's Karl and then Peters.
Gabe, you took my like last pick like 5 times this draft. It's insane.
Okay, now we're getting into the. I'm gonna take the second greatest DDG hater.
Pablo the goat.
I'll go Robin Schultz.
Oh, they're still on the board. Dang.
Okay, I want Cash Vander Sing Man, Cash Man. He's been doing he was an online player for a long time, but now he's like winning
The most committed online player, I think, undebatably.
yeah.
I think there's like no player that's played as many online events, I think, as Cash. Even back when I was playing like at the 3 a.m. ones, he was always there.
Yeah,
Matthew
there's
Burris.
Andrew, you, me, and Cash in the
Bro.
online, the Hegsters.
The grinders, bro.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, Andrew is up.
Yeah. Matthew Burris.
Okay.
It's IS.
On Burris. Burris.
Yeah, it's Burris. Yeah.
Buris.
Okay.
I'm going to take Christian Labella.
Wait, he didn't get picked yet?
I know. I was like, what? What's happening?
Oh, shit. Okay, I would have picked him. All right. Good play. Good play. I'll throw him a bone because he might just be, going all out to get a sponsorship. So let's go Danny Alphavilla. Who knows
Wild
what he might.
card.
Yeah, might be a rogue. Okay, so that went pretty quick. So let's also do a seniors draft. And let's just do, you want to do like 2 or 3 seniors, or how do you want to do that?
I feel like 3's better.
Okay. And we'll go in reverse order. So wait, is Brody's playing as a senior in the
Yeah.
Worlds, right? Okay.
Yeah. They stay in their division for World. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's definitely
It's Bodie, not Brody.
Jesus Christ. All right. Glad we're doing this now.
Spelling's hard. It's the hardest.
That's not wait, no, that is right. Okay, you got
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
That's if you made it this far into the video, I will tease that that will be important that we get that correct next week. Okay.
I wonder who Gabe's gonna pick.
I'm
Yeah.
going to pick Neil Erlandson,
Okay.
also known as the best senior in the world, that I in fact coach as well. So just want to put that out there. Go check out my Metafy link.
Neo
Yes, sir.
Erlandson. That's one of the coolest names I think I've ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Andrew.
I will do Rune.
Jake.
I'll do Vinny Fernandez.
I'll do Evan Pavelski.
See.
He's 10th. Just MP.
Okay. Okay. Evan. I'm gonna take our good friend Owen.
Dang it. I'm going to take Tristan C. So it's Tristan, and then his last name is TSE.
Okay.
Giving Michael Davidson.
I was just gonna pick him next.
He's Jake's local. Come on, you still
yeah.
Is he on the
Yeah,
top?
He has number 5.
He's like 5, yeah.
Oh, Michael Davis. Cool.
The easiest name for Ryan to spell all day.
On Vinny has an I and not it's VNI.
Yeah.
VINI, yeah, not NNY.
Just BINI.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go I gotta think now. I'll go Yuichi Matsuo.
Yeah. Can you
put in the chat?
chat us
He-
up, please?
He's not even a Japanese player. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they're Australian, right? They're the ones that won OCI or no EU,
Yeah.
LAIC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
LAIC.
They won some.
Yeah, they won something. They're good.
Okay.
I'll go Benny Billinger.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Now this would be way more difficult because I'm not all that familiar. I don't know. I'll take Noah Brown. I'll take a Brit. Okay.
I'm going to take between two. I'll take Carson Washer.
Did you potentially just lose a client?
Maybe. we'll see.
Okay.
I'll take Justin Templar. It's just Justin T on the standings. I don't know how to spell his last name.
Okay.
I'll take Kaya Lick. I don't remember how to pronounce her
Lickliker?
last name. Yeah.
How is she
But Kaya L. I don't even think that's
On here it's just Kaya L.
Kaya L. Yeah, okay, that's a big. I should have taken that one. All right. Last pick for the 2023 Dead Draw Gaming World Championships.
Damn, it's like we drafted everyone.
You got multiple
Um,
friendships on the line with this one, Christian. Make it count.
I know. Who has not been drafted? I will go. I'll go Sebastian L.
Okay.
Sebastian Lashmit. Yeah.
Is that BE or BA? It's most commonly BA.
I think it's LA. It's SEBAS.
Yeah.
No, it's SPAS.
Okay.
They got second at Worlds last year, right? With Urshi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sick. All right. So we've got the draft complete. We'll I guess we'll probably tweet this out next week, maybe Monday or so. And I don't know what I'm gonna be doing for Worlds yet because it starts at like 10 p.m. and goes until like 4 a.m. I think on a Thursday. So
Starts Thursday for people in America.
yeah, so I may stream it, I may do something. But and then just suffer at work the next day. We'll see. But yeah, that's been a lot of fun. Great podcast this week. Let's just go around real quick. I will stop sharing a spreadsheet. And y'all want to just shout any of your coaching or handles. Have at it. Jake, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you could just find me at Twitter, Jake K Gearhart. That's where I post everything. You can DM me, ask any questions you want. I'll always answer.
Yeah, he will answer absolutely everybody. Hedrick.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at PokeHawkeye.
Okay, cool. Christian.
My Twitter is at Lebelster, and I vouch for Gabe Smart coaching. Go get his coaching
On Medify. All right.
on Medify.
Yeah.
Obviously shout out Deadjar Gaming. Thank you, Ryan, for being an amazing sponsor. I have an article coming out on Cutter Tap pretty soon for Worlds, so make sure to go check that out. Most of my socials are either smart TCG or smart_TCG. And then yeah, I'm coaching a bajillion players getting ready for Worlds. So if you're interested in that, go check out my link. I hope you get ready. And I'll be at Worlds. And yeah, if you see any of us, make sure to say hi. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thank you all so much. And we will see y'all on the stream for Worlds. Appreciate it.